Okay, August 16th, 2023, back in the DigiBug. Youngest daughter's back in school, so I'll be able to make more consistent videos. I don't know, maybe if I don't have anything to say, I shouldn't say anything. I usually have something to say though. It's just the timing of it all, getting things done. Oh, there's some X's in the sky. All those airplanes that fly up and just... Not every day has these trails that there's X's all over. 1, 2, 3, right there. Unbelievable. So what's in those trails? What do we have in those contrails? Some days you have them, some days you don't. Why? What's the difference? I've seen them turn on and off too. As the planes are flying through the sky, you'll see a trail and then all of a sudden you won't see one. Then you'll see it again. Like somebody flipped a switch. Doesn't seem right. Not sure what that's all about, but it is happening. Don't have to be a firefighter to realize there's a fire, and I'll get into those fires out on Maui. But first, it is August 16th. August 15th, yesterday, 1971. That is when Richard Milhouse Nixon took us off the gold standard. Could no longer redeem anything in gold. At that time, I think foreign countries were able to redeem their debt or whatever they held, treasuries in gold. Not sure, whatever. They cut it off. Nixon closed the gold window. Can't redeem any paper anymore, any of your bonds, certificates, whatever, for real stuff, for gold. And since then, we've been in a downward spiral. It happened before then because they'd been taking the precious metals, making them irredeemable. They took them out of the money, out of the coinage. They used to have gold certificates you could redeem in gold, silver certificates you could take to a bank and redeem in gold or silver. But they took all that away. They even had silver in the money in 1964, took that away, and now we are left with nothing. Nothing. It's not redeemable for anything. We got Biden out there touting the Inflation Reduction Act and the year anniversary of that. And inflation's reduced, right? It's been reduced. I just walked by. I'm going to have to start walking because I can't afford the gasoline. Just went by the gas station, 406, 406 more accurately, for a gallon of the low grade 87 octane. $4.06, really 7 cents because they put the little 9 up there. It's 406 9/10. But yeah, $4.07 for a gallon of low grade gasoline. But we've had a reduction in inflation in the last year since they printed that money to reduce inflation. See, they're talking two different things. There's monetary inflation where they create the money and then that money spills over into all kinds of things that you need, driving the price up. They're talking about Inflation Reduction Act. Hey, we want to reduce price inflation. That's what we're focused on. Well, if you keep printing money and going into debt over an extra $1 trillion a year, that's inflationary. You're creating all this money. It's going to go into the system. But anyway, that's just, semantics, I guess. The real thing is we don't have sound money. We don't have gold-backed money. We don't have silver-backed money. We don't have monkey money, gorilla money, silver-backed money. We don't have anything like that. We've just got digits on a screen created out of nothing. They wrangle in Congress like, oh my gosh, we need a continuing resolution. We need to raise the debt ceiling. And it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all a show. They're going to create the money because they have to create the money and dump it into the system because that's all they can do. That's how you got to keep it going. It's like a locomotive that's going down the tracks. You got to keep shoving coal into it. That's the only way you can keep it running. You got to keep feeding it. You got to keep giving it more energy. Sorry about the shadows. That'll clear up here in a little bit. But you got to keep feeding it more energy or the thing doesn't move. And that derails at some point. So that's what's happening with our economy. It's very simple when you understand it. In order for the economy to continue and not contract and not be destroyed and implode and go over the cliff or run off the rails, you have to feed that engine of economic growth. You have to feed it more money. In other words, create more money to put into it to fuel it. And That's really what it comes down to. That's just how it is. And if they stop putting money into the system, which has been happening, well, it's kind of a dichotomy in a way. It's a frazzled rip. What they have is they're raising interest rates to make it harder to get loans and harder to service debt. And this is a sad thing right here. This dang groundhog got hit. He was on the road yesterday. Dang it. He was sitting there on the road yesterday and we missed him, and obviously he didn't learn his lesson. He's right in the middle of the freaking road, splatted. I hate to see that. But hopefully it's not the one I'm thinking of. Anyway, you've kind of got this broken economy, you know, this cognitive dissonance, this, you know, as I said, a dichotomy. They're creating more money through inflation, you know, by spending more and going into debt as a government, creating more and more. But on the other side of it, they're saying, we need to stop inflation, so we're going to raise rates. And by raising rates, that puts a pinch on everybody that needs to service debt, that needs to take on new debt to buy things. Hang on, sorry. All right, these electronics are beeping, going off, telling you what to do. Jeez, I got the dog in the seat over here, and the thing beeps because of the weight of the dog, and I just need to go to a junkyard and cut off one of the straps. You know, it's got the little, that goes into the seatbelt, the little clip, and then just stick that little clip in there, and then it'll shut up. Otherwise, I'm wrapping the seatbelt over, and silly. Anyway, so yeah, you got the split personality of an economy to where they're making it hard. I mean, you go look at mortgage rates. I mean, how difficult it is. You know, somebody did a TikTok or something, but I saw it on Twitter, to where you look at 1995, the home price, 2019, the home price, 2023, the home price, compared it to actual wages, the interest on the mortgages. And from 2019 to 2023, the price of the houses just kind of exploded, almost doubled in price. Whereas from 95 to 2019, that whole time frame, it didn't go up as much. It didn't even double, but it doubled in the last 4 years. And you got to ask yourself, well, why did it double in the last 4 years? What's going on here? Well, a lot of money did get created in the last 4 years that got flooded into the market. A lot of people absorbed that money, the trillions that were printed up during the pandemic, and we're seeing the results of it. Sky-high housing, to where it takes something like half of your income to service just your living expenses. I mean, that's just looking at the mortgage payments. You know, you're paying your principal and your interest, but you got to pay homeowners insurance. If you're living in Florida, how much is homeowners insurance? I mean, everybody thinks it's great to live in Florida, but look at the homeowners insurance of what has happened because of hurricanes. I mean, it's becoming unaffordable to service that. So you got to add that cost in, that cost of living. And you just got to weigh. It's like, hey, it's warm all the time, but, since it's warm all the time, we get a lot of hurricanes and it can do a lot of damage. And so rates go up and everybody has to eat the cost. So you got to look at those things. You got to look at your property tax. How much is the property tax? You got to add all those factors in. Pretty soon, you're just paying to live in a house that you don't even own. Yeah, you might think you own it, but you don't own it as long as the bank's got that lien on it. And then once you pay it off, yeah, you really don't own it if you don't pay your property tax. Sheriff will come take it from you. That's some cognitive dissonance right there. The guy's supposed to protect your rights, comes and takes your property. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Got some things screwed up in this world, in this country. Really need to unwind them. We got to get this stuff figured out because it doesn't work for people. It works for certain people, but it works for very few people. Most of the people just get robbed. They get nothing to show for it. So you've got that. What the heck? I was out mowing yesterday. Oh, probably a cigar burn. I know I got bit by a mosquito or a spider or something over here. I was like, did I get bit over here? It's like, nah, I probably hit a tree branch. And yeah, I think I remember. And yeah, okay. It's coming back to me now. I'll walk around and I'll see where I got scratched and I'm bleeding. Like, wife will say, you're bleeding. I'm like, I am? How'd that happen? I don't even know. I don't even realize it. Crazy, like a Sasquatch walking through the forest, doesn't even know. It's all his damage. All right, back to the money thing. I mean, we're in a tough time. Okay. Cost of living, just talking about gasoline, talking about housing, the cost of doing just running your life is becoming pretty oppressive, and it's not getting any better. The money that you've been given, the money you're paid in, is losing value. What are you going to do? How do you get out of this thing? You've got to preserve your wealth somehow. You know, I talk a lot about precious metals, specifically silver. I talk a lot about crypto, specifically things like Litecoin. I look at the DigiByte, things that are undervalued. Cryptocurrencies that are undervalued, precious metals that are undervalued, and getting them while they're cheap, while they're on sale. Because the first thing that happens is when people realize how scarce these things are, and all it takes is a little bump, a little bit of news, a little bit of hype, and the price starts going up, and then everybody panics and says, oh, why wasn't I buying it when it was on sale? Oh, I'm going to buy it now because I have to have some. Well, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I mean, that's a very important concept to learn in life. I've learned it. Just have it, and then you don't have to worry about it. You're not out there fighting the masses trying to get scraps when everybody needs something. So don't do that. Get it while it's cheap. Get it now. You don't have to go all in on something, but start acquiring it. You know, start getting those things that are on sale. You know, because hey, the price might go down some more. You see what happens with silver. You see what happens with Litecoin. It doesn't make any sense, but that's all right. I mean, you look at it and the price goes down. It's like, okay, if I'd gone all in here, now the price goes down. Like, oh, I don't have any dry powder to throw into it. You know, I can't. You know, I got no firepower. So it's like put a little bit in, put a little bit. It's a long-term game, is what it comes down to. It's a long-term process. You know, you just have to accumulate those things that you need and build them up. You're not going to get it overnight. All right, given all that, speaking of things overnight, so basically protect your wealth, find ways to do that. And then here's the other side of it. You can protect your wealth, do all the things, you know, have all these things in your possession, and then you get a situation like what happened on the island of Maui. You get wiped out. I mean, everything you have is gone, and thankfully your life isn't gone, but unfortunately many people lost their lives out there. So devastating, so quick. Those fires just ripped through and destroyed everything. Life gone. And if you did make it out, what do you have left? I mean, really, what do you have left? Do you have anything that you saved up? So think if you'd saved gold, you saved crypto, you saved silver, you saved all these things, and your house is completely gone. All your property is wiped out and it's just ash. Is that stuff preserved? I mean, in the sense of gold and silver, yeah, it's there. It's melted, most likely, and it can be reconstituted. But is it there? I mean, right now, you can't even go back into your property. You've got emergency, medical, and FEMA, and all these organizations going through everything, searching for bodies. I mean, what's to say it just disappears, you know, what you had. Could happen. Okay, that's a problem. So you got to realize, okay, where I'm at might not be the best place for it to be. Or, you know, how I'm storing it may not be the safest place to put it. You know, is it in a fireproof safe, you know, to certain temperatures? Is it in a location? Is it somewhere where if something devastating like what happened on Maui happens to you, is your stuff safe? And so you got to think that way. If you have crypto, where's your crypto stored? Do you have it just on a seed phrase on a piece of paper? It's gone. Fire, it's gone, man. It's out on the blockchain. Nobody can access it because they don't have that private key. All right, so that's a problem. So what do? There are stainless steel, fireproof metal wallets to where you can put your words to represent your private key, your seed phrase, essentially, on these things, and in a fire they can burn up. But you got to find them. I mean, if your house is just nothing but rubble and you had it sitting, you know, whatever, on a coffee table or something, wherever you put it, I mean, everything's burned down. I mean, is it going to be recoverable? Is it going to be safe? And, you know, think of a hurricane. Will it even be in the same location if it's a hurricane? just gets picked up and it's gone. So think of these things. Worst case scenario, you're preserving your wealth. If you lose everything, you want to have your money that you've stored up, your energy that's stored in the form of whatever, secured. And some people just say, well, forget it. It's not even worth it. I'll just leave it in the bank. Okay, you can do that, but we know that's a loser. We know that they're going to go full CBDC on all that stuff, and it's all going to be digital, and they will completely control, track, and trace you and put limits on you and not allow you to buy and spend whatever you want. That's what will happen with that. That's a guarantee. That's what they will do if you leave it in that system. So you're left to your own devices. It's almost like, you're just, traveling this road and you've got vagabonds, and people trying to steal your stuff, and you're holding it with you. So you got to figure out how to hide it, how to disguise it, how to put it somewhere else. These are things you got to think about. Disaster can strike, environmental disasters, anything can happen. So if those things do happen, what would you do? How would you have done things differently if you were in the situation right now in Maui, or if you're in the situation that happened in Florida, with a hurricane? What would you do differently to protect what you had? And think along those mindsets, because, and it can happen anywhere. It can happen, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be sitting there in hurricane, central or Tornado Alley, or, look at Maui, burns. Who would have thought, an island in the middle of the ocean, freaking city just completely obliterated and burns. Who would think that something like that could happen? Who would think? But it happened. Don't know how it started. Speculation, nobody knows. I mean, there's a lot of rumor out there on the internet, this and that happened. What I look at is who benefits. Is someone going to benefit from this disaster? And then you ask yourself, was there motivation for something like this to happen? Was there money to be made by someone if this event happened? And you kind of follow the money is really what you do. So it remains to be seen what happened, but there's already, I just watched a news program today. There's one of the NBC affiliate, or I should say national correspondents out there. And the last part of Miguel Almaguer, he had at the end of his segment, he said, yeah, there's already interest and offers coming in to these people to buy their property already. Of course, the business. He's just like, hey, hit them when they're down and out, offer them a cash, when they're in settlement, when they're, or a purchase price, when they're not in their right minds, when they're depressed, and they may be ready to say, F it, I'm out of here. I can't do this. I got to walk away. And you give them some money and they just leave. So never let a good disaster go to waste, right? I'm not sure who said that. Somebody affiliated with the Clintons, I think. It's an opportunity for some people in the midst of tragedy. And you got to look at those people who are poised and ready to go and think, see who benefits. All right. So put yourself in those situations and think, what do I need to do to protect myself? What can I do to mitigate this as much as possible? And I mean, an asteroid falling out of the sky, what are you going to do? Dead hit. I mean, things happen. You can only do what you can do. And you can't stress over everything. You can prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that's basically all you can do. But you don't want to be in a situation where you didn't prepare at all. And you think, well, it's all gone. I wish I would have done this. Wish I would have done that. You gotta use this as a learning experience. Pray for the people who are suffering. I mean, it's a horrible thing for them to have to go through. It's a horrible, horrible thing to lose everything like that. And just gone. Just burned away. All those memories, just everything you have, gone. I mean, and the people who suffered through it and the people who didn't make it. I mean, it went so fast. I mean, it's just, what a horrible thing. Water right there, surrounded by water, and you can't stop the fire. Devastating force of nature. Magical, beautiful, and terrifying fire. All right, so yeah, prepare, do your own research on this stuff, look into find ways to protect yourself, because, you know, there are storms coming at you from every direction. Vampires coming at you from every direction. Got to find a way to opt out of that. Got to find a way to kind of be independent from that and try to break free from it and protect yourself, protect your energy as much as you possibly can. And, you know, even with the best of preparation, sometimes that doesn't even work. But at least you got to prepare. At least you got to have the mindset that it's important to do that, because if you don't, you're going to be kicking yourself. All right. Hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. I love you all. Thanks for watching, giving your energy to this. And I should be making a few more videos from the road in the DigiBug, because I'll be in the car more. All right. Have a wonderful day. Love you all.